Alright, what's up guys? I'm back for a review of the Rubik's Cube 6x6x6. So actually this cube here, it's quite big. It's 6x6, obviously we're not used to see this many layers on a cube, and also it's not made by Rubik's, it's made by V-Cube. So I'll leave a link in the description below the video if you want to buy this cube. I actually bought it in a store. I did not go online to buy it, but I'm pretty sure I could find a link online to buy it. So yeah, it's made by V-Cube. Rubik's does not do more than 5 layers cube. So let's jump onto the size comparison of this cube compared to the usual 3x3 that we all have. So this cube fits really well in the hand compared to this one, which is a little bit bigger. It's harder to hold in a hand. Actually, it's really easy to hold, but it's hard to use it with only one hand. There is so many layers and it's so much bigger. But here's the comparison. If we put them side by side, you see it has one layer more than the 3x3. So it's not that much bigger, but once you put it in your hands, you feel it. It's really bigger. Not really bigger, but still it's big enough, so you really need 2 hands to handle it. So for this cube, I must say it is bigger than the 3x3. If we compare it to its cousin here, the 5x5, you will see that it's pretty much the same size. So the cubies are a bit smaller on the 6x6 compared to the 5x5. But you can see a little difference at the top here. It's just a tiny bit bigger, but it's almost as if it's almost the same size, even though it's just a little bit bigger. So that's it for the size comparison. Let's go on to the turning quality. So right out of the box, I turned it, and it turns really well. You hear the clicking sound? It snaps into place, so it's not gonna go really smooth all around it. You see it gets snapped when it goes back to a cube. So like right now it's pretty good, but when you go back, it goes like that. It snaps and it tends to stay like this. Once you get it moving, it turns pretty well, but once you go bring it back to the cube, it snaps into place and it doesn't want to move, kind of. So it turns really well. I did not lube it yet. I don't feel like it would be worth it since it snaps into place. So the lube will not prevent it from snapping. So it's just gonna be pretty much the same thing. So I did not lube it, and it turns pretty well. Besides the fact that it snaps into place. But if you were wondering, actually someone asked me what kind of lube I use for my cubes. Well, it's this little container here. I bought it from Mefferts.com. I'll leave a link in the description below the video if you feel like buying this lube. It's actually really good, and I really recommend it to you. Right, so let's go back to the turning quality. I was saying it's pretty good, but not perfect. So I'll give it, I don't know, a 6 on 10, since it's not perfect. But it turns pretty well. Let's go into the sturdiness of this cube. So I've used it for quite a long time now, and pieces are not popping out. Like, you will never see a piece coming out from your cube onto the table or on the floor. But sometimes these inner squares here will tend to spin like on themselves. I'll try to have it spin. Oops. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, you have to stop your algorithm right in the middle where you were to bring it back where it's supposed to be, and then you get lost, and you have to start pretty much from all over again. So it sucks a lot, but it does not happen so often. I just hope it's gonna happen right now. I could force it. Oh, actually, here we go. So it goes like that, and then you have to stop your movement, otherwise it would just explode in your hands, and then you have to just bring them back where they are supposed to be, and it's happening the same thing at the back here. As you can see, this layer is supposed to be lined up with this green cube here, this green square, and this line here to this one. So you have to like bring it back without breaking it, obviously, and it's really not something you want to deal with, but it does not happen that often. So like I was saying, if it happens to you while you're in the middle of an algorithm, it sucks a lot. You have to start over, and it's really not cool. So because of this, it's really sturdy. It's not gonna blow up in your hands, but sometimes cubies will maybe turn by themselves. So because of this, I'll give it a 7 on 10 on the sturdiness, since it sucks to have a piece like turn by themselves. Alright, and let's jump into the difficulty. So right now, as you can see, the cube is not in a solved state. Usually when I review a cube, it's solved, but this cube is just so hard. I don't feel like solving it right now. I did manage to do it a few times. I made myself a few notes to remind myself of what I could do when I get what. But yeah, it's really hard to solve. I don't want to do it just for the video. So it would take me about 10 to 15 minutes to solve it, which I don't want to spend that much time on it right now. So it's really hard to solve. If you guys are well experienced with Rubik's Cube, like the 5x5 or even the 3x3, you might give it a try, but it's really hard. But if you like challenge, it's really good for you. So for the difficulty, I'll give it an 8 on 10. And if I recommend this cube to you, well, obviously if you never managed to solve a Rubik's Cube, don't try this monster. It's really hard. At least if you did this one, try the 4x4, then go on to the 5x5, which is pretty much the same thing as the 4, and then once you've mastered this one, you might try this. But like once again, it's really hard. I did not use the internet to solve it. I did it by myself. That must be why it was hard. If you feel like using the internet, go ahead. It will make the solve much easier, but really it's up to you. I do recommend it only if you have a lot of big background experience with puzzles. So obviously the puzzles in a cube shape, not like jigsaw puzzles. So yep, I do recommend it. You should buy it, and like I said, I'll try to find somewhere on the web you can buy it, and I'll leave the link in the description below the video. And here is a review overall. This cube, it is bigger than the 3x3. Turning quality, it's really good, but it does snaps into place, which makes it hard to have a quick solve and have a really good time when you want to solve it. For the sturdiness, it is really sturdy. It's not going to blow up in your hands, but it might sometimes have a piece that just rotate on themselves, and then you have to stop your algorithm. That's not cool. I put a 7 on 10 for this, and difficulty really hard to solve. You should try it if you like challenges, but 8 on 10, it's really big. It's really hard. And then, yes, you should buy it only if you have a good background with the cubes, puzzles, all that stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this sheet of whatever review, all these, and the marks on 10s. So let me know about that, what you think, and if I find it that you find it useful, I'll keep doing this. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.